Hey YouTube, I would just like to start off with a huge thank you for the support you guys showed for the previous video. I really appreciate it a lot. For the first time viewers, I'm rolling Origami. I'm relatively new to YouTube and I'm hoping to bring more content from a perspective of a casual player. So feel free just to drop in, chill with us and watch some Vanguard. Anyways, for today, what we're gonna do is to have a chill session. I'm just gonna try to go through today's tournament using the Post-Nerf MLB deck and kind of get a sense of the power level after the nerf. Hopefully we get some good fights and I don't get knocked out in the first round. So let's go. This is my deck list. I haven't changed anything since the nerf except for switching the starter from Wingal Brave to Libergal. I think most decks probably run a similar lineup. The units most people run should be exactly the same, and most lists probably only differ on the quantity of each unit, and that's probably up to preference. So let's just try to jump into a game first. The nerf on Wingal Brave, we kinda knew it was coming all along because the Japanese server had it way back before even the global server had MLB or Wingal Brave, so it did kind of feel a bit of a money grabbing move just to bring it into the server unnerfed in the first place before taking your time to like nerf it again. Just it feels like you're trying to get people to want to spend and get MLB to be able to use it as maximum potential. Okay, so here we have quite a good hand. We just don't need Alfred. We can get a Blaster Blade off guns a lot. So let's just do this. We get 2 Ks, which is fine. We're missing a Blaster Dart, so Libergal can't really get us that. But hopefully more Blaster Blades or something. I kinda misplayed. I probably should have swapped a Gunslet for a Blaster Blade just in case. But I guess it doesn't really matter if I don't need a Blaster to use a Wingal Brave skill. Because Wingal Brave kinda needs a grade 2 starter. A Libergal doesn't kinda need any Blaster in its name, so it's kind of fine. I'll probably write K here. Let's do that switch. And because this column still goes for 13, I can kinda go for 2 attacks. Hopefully we find some way to get our Blaster Dart, either drawing it because I have 4 or like maybe through Starco. We're not getting any of our triggers. I mean effectively, like draw triggers especially. But it's good that we have our MLB in hand, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going up against Vermilion, which is kind of ironic because that's the deck we featured in my first video, right? Okay, he goes for my rear guard. Gets a heal off. So if he goes, he can get to, take out my Libergal with his Forerunner and then get the unflip off his Garuda Vanguard. A bit unfortunate. Wow, we're really not drawing too much. Let's go ahead and write MLB first. I'll hold off on calling out blasters just in case like they get sniped. I think we're okay to play 2 Palamides because we're only at 2 damage, so I don't think he's gonna be pushing too hard anytime soon. We get a draw trigger which gets us a Lien, which we will probably use to filter if we still don't get anything good. The second draw, that's really great, and we get our Blaster Duck, so that's wonderful. And we get our a third damage in. Still no perfect guards in my hand, which is a bit worrying, but you know, we should be able to get by. He rides a Thunderbreak Dragon, which is always a good sign because he's not riding Vermilion, right, which is the preferred grade 3. I guess Thunderbreak is strong even though I kinda dislike it. Power plus 5k and counterblast 2 to retire one of your opponent's grade 2 or lower rear guards. I think for me the main issue is that it sits at 10k, which sometimes is a bit problematic because it's just easier for your opponent to hit those numbers if that's your Vanguard. It looks like he's trying to go for as much damage, but also because his Desert Gunner can't actually hit anything. Okay, so since we don't really need to use a lot of counterblast in this deck, it's fine if we just go a bit trigger happy, you know, to take out his intercept. We can put Lilian here for a boost, call out a Blaster Blade, sure, let's do that, and also a Blaster Duck for MLB's effect. And then this is 16. Oh. Let's put a K for intercept as well, because we kind of have no Kanzen guards in our hand. So we need more intercepts on the field. He gets a draw trigger, which is so annoying. It means one of our column doesn't get through it. We're gonna proc MLB's effect for the 10k and a crit. We don't get any triggers, he procs his Sentinel, and that's gonna be the end of our turn. So if you see here, if he actually has Vermilion, we're kinda screwed, because he will still be swinging for 3, bashing all my intercepts at once and dealing the last 2 damage, but seems like he doesn't have it. He's gonna spend his time breaking my intercepts, and as long as he doesn't get a crit, I should be fine. Okay, we get a heal trigger, which is kind of a common thing, especially if you play MLB. I'm in a bit of a problem because I can only swing one column with my rear guards, which means my MLB with crit has to go into a rear guard. My only hope is if I Lien this Palamedes into like a Blaster Blade, but I don't think that's particularly likely, so I'm just gonna skip that. I will be quite sad if one of my drive checks is at least my first drive check is a Blaster Blade. It's not, so thank God. We get a better veer, which is good because it's a 10k front row with 7k boost, so either way it's great. I hope we can survive this. I don't think we can. We have 2 more heals. We were so close. He doesn't have a Kanzen, so if we had one more attacker, we would have went to crit him for a lot of damage, like lethal if he could have been able to crit him for lethal. And we don't get the heal, and that's a big fat L. Well, that's not very nice. I guess that shows you how strong Narukami is, right? I mean, after all, Vanguard is a game of luck. Even though you may not have the most optimal ride even with his Thunderbreak Dragon, still managed to seal the win. It's like a game of fine margins, right? If we had one more attacker, or even if the Lien was like a 9k or above that could break through one of the intercepts, we would have probably had that game. Well, that's okay. Let's just go for another round. That didn't really go as planned, so I'm just going to do one more rank fight just to get a better sense of the deck and how it's performing after the nerf. So the reason I changed, and I believe why most people would switch from Wingal Brave to Libergal, is not really the counterblast increase cost, but because of the fact that you can only search MLB, which is really quite problematic, because honestly the hardest card to get from... Okay, we're gonna just do this and try to find as many of our combo pieces as possible. So for MLB you kinda need one Blaster Dart, one Blaster Blade, and one MLB. And usually, I mean most of the times your gun slot is equivalent to another Blaster Blade. So we kind of have 3 Blaster Blades in our hands right now, which is fine, which means we kind of only need Blaster Dart now. So I guess you can see what I mean. I think MLB and Blaster Dart are equally hard to find, but most of the times you rather look for MLB than Blaster Dart. But Wingal Brave's increased cost really kind of can't justify me using it over Libergal, especially if I can't like search out a Blaster Dark anymore. I'm gonna ride Blaster Blade because I have nothing else. We could go on the offensive here. You can see I can form a 16k column with K, and then potentially swing for 3 damage if it doesn't have any defensives. I mean, yeah, it's against another Narukami deck, which isn't surprising considering this is the Vermilion season and I'm sure people have been grinding hard. So we kinda did deal out 3 damage, but he gets a heal. Fair play. And it's back to him. But actually, you could play Wingal Brave. I could see why people might want to play it because it gives you a definite ability to search out MLB, which is kind of like your #1 priority. It's okay to not have Blaster Dart and just sit on MLB, but if you have Blaster Dart but you don't have MLB, you kind of end up misgrading, so called, and you're just sitting on your grade 2 waiting for Blaster MLB to happen. He writes Jin, which is quite tough on him, I would say. We don't have our Blaster Dart yet. I'm gonna try to use Livergal's effect so that I can get something to toss with the end. Okay. I'm gonna put this heal back in, get a Blaster Blade, and I'll call it so that I can toss color maybe. So Blaster Blade, although we kinda don't feel it's very important, it kinda is, because it gives you, well, we get a heal that kinda whiffs. One Blaster Dart goes to the bottom of the deck. So Blaster Blade is kind of important because you can call it at the rear guard and be able to snipe off one of your opponent's intercepts. So if we had that in the previous game, we would have been able to get rid of the intercept and also swing face for the crit, which is kinda important. We won't be able to break his numbers here, so I'm just gonna end. It looks like the game is in our favor right now, but you know how quickly things can change. He has limit break on his Vermilion, and he has a ton of hand cards. So if you watch my previous video, you pretty much know what he's gonna do. He's gonna wipe us down. Hopefully he doesn't have the rear guards to kind of make those very nice columns like the 21k I was talking about. With the grade 3 Jin and one of a 7k boost. Yep, so he probably won't be able to swing for 3 attacks unless he gets like a trigger. I still don't think he will be able to. He'll only get 2 attacks off, which is kind of a relief for us. So this is kind of why I keep emphasizing on D21k. It's so that you can maximize the number of attacks you do when you choose to proc Vermilion skill. Yep, his rearguard Vermilion won't be able to do anything. Okay, you see, I'm really hesitant to actually play Blaster Blade because I think that's my last copy. What I'm gonna do is just swing K at this rear guard, and then I kinda have to hope for a trigger here. Yeah, I don't get it, but it's fine. With the number of hand cards he has, I'm just gonna swing face. Because even if I clear his Vermilion, he probably has something to replace it. Yep, it's the same situation. He'll probably be swinging. Okay, this time round I don't have any intercepts. So the thing is, he can actually swing with his rear guards first, and Vermilion actually boosts up to 16k. So if he gets one trigger, he can swing 3 times, but we have one Isolde, which is a Kanzen guard, so we should be able to survive this round. Draw trigger is always appreciated. I think now he can't hit us because he whiffed. I mean, he didn't get any triggers. I mean, I'm still not getting my Blaster Dart, so I guess I really am starting to miss Wingal Brave a bit. And just as I say that, we draw Blaster Dart. Let me do the math. 20. This is 12. We can get 22 with MLB's row, and this row gets 17. So let's do that. Kill one of his, and also call. So let's break that rear guard. I'm still a bit hesitant to decide whether or not to proc MLB's effect, but he has 2 Sentinels down. Does he have one more? I don't think so. We get a draw trigger. That's good. Ah, he has another perfect card. That's fine. Actually, that's not fine. Okay, but ultimately he's playing Vermilion, so whether I had 1 intercept or 2 intercept, it kinda doesn't matter. He's probably gonna wipe it all off anyways. So that was good in hindsight. If it was any other deck, then I probably should have held the Blaster Blade and not eaten it up, sucked it up for MLB's effect. Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna lose 2 in a row to Narukami as well. Such an awful feeling. He's going for the limit break, he's attacking 2, gets a heal, which kinda makes my life a bit harder, but he doesn't have any intercepts. Okay, I just need a heal. If I don't get a heal, I lose. That's it, right? I have 3 in my deck. And we get it. I think we're definitely lucky, but I think when you're playing against MLB, you kind of have to expect heal triggers in there because of the fact that you can recycle them. Okay, this is great. I have Star Call, which gives me 16, and I get to call Blaster Dart as another intercept. Okay, he used 3, right? So I'm gonna put this here. And then swing at his face. Doesn't have it. And then we're going for crit here. Heal trigger. And we're putting it to blast the dark. He has his 4 sentinel. Did we misplay? I hope not. Okay, he's not gonna be able to use his counterblast limit break thing. So it looks like he doesn't play crit, so we should in theory be able to survive this because he doesn't have the counterblast to take out one of our intercepts abnormally. Okay. Now look at that. We lose one intercept and we come back to waiting for our last heal trigger. Unless he doesn't get any trigger and we get a defensive. And we don't, so we're waiting for our last heal. 1 out of 12. I guess it's karma. Okay, so we went 0 for 2 against both Narukami decks. A little unfortunate, but I would say yeah, it is what it is. I don't think that MLB is necessarily a bad deck now. I think we got a bit unlucky. You could see that in both games we were a bit close. I kind of feel I might have misplayed in the second game. You can let me know down in the comments. I hope I didn't. So I do think that the Wingal Brave nerf is quite a big hit for the MLB deck, mainly because you can't use one counterblast to search for one of your 3 combo pieces. Because before that, you can just have 1 or 2 combo pieces in your hand and you'll be able to search specifically what you need, the last piece of your combo. And now you kind of can't. Even though your starter kind of helps you search for more combo pieces, but you can't choose the exact one that you're lacking. So in most cases, it seems like you'll probably be missing out on Blasted Dark, especially if you're running Libergal. Yeah, so that's it for my second video. Let me know what you guys would like to see on the channel in the future. I'm sorry, I'm not showcasing any wins, but it's a casual channel, so I'm not just gonna try to show you that, you know, I'm winning all the time. Let me know what you want to see in the future, what decks you want me to play. I know some of you want to see my collection. I'll try to get that done as well. So please help me like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, it really helps me out. Stay safe. Bye bye.